Good evening, I'm Bret Baier. This is a Fox News alert. We have new information tonight in the investigation into the failed government weapons tracking mission known as Operation Fast and Furious. Correspondent William Lajeunesse is here with us in Washington this evening. Hello, William.
Hello, Brett. This evening, basically, for the first time, we see that in this particular case, that Attorney General Eric Holder is actually identified in a document to be aware of Operation Fast and Furious not once, but twice. This comes 5 months after the Attorney General, on May 3rd of this year, said that he'd only recently heard of Fast and Furious for the first time.
When did you first know about the program, officially, I believe, called Fast and Furious?
I'm not sure of the exact date, but I probably heard about Fast and Furious for the first time over the last few weeks.
So how did Holder hear about Fast and Furious? Well, let's begin with Deputy Attorney General Lanny Breuer, chief of the Criminal Division and one of Holder's closest confidants. Here's a document from October 18th, 2010, from Breuer to Holder saying that prosecutors are ready to issue indictments in the Fast and Furious case. And several months earlier, in a July 2010 memo, the director of the nation's Drug Intelligence Center tells Holder that so-called straw buyers in Operation Fast and Furious are, quote, responsible for the purchase of 1,500 firearms that were then supplied to the Mexican drug trafficking cartels. Now, also, a former DOJ, let's go to another part. Now, you may recall that both ATF and DOJ said unequivocally, we do not let guns walk. Walk means to let go or not stop criminals from buying and transferring weapons to others and transfer them to people over the border. It is a highly controversial practice that agents are taught not to do. However, in October 2010, in a memo, a Deputy Attorney General, under Breuer, writes to another Deputy AG that he wants Breuer to get involved with a Fast and Furious press conference. But he says it's a tricky case because the number of guns that are walked is significant. Now, the Deputy AG writes back and he says it's not going to be any big surprise that a bunch of U.S. guns are being used in Mexico. So I'm not sure how much grief we'll get for gun walking. Now, Brad, a former DOJ official familiar with Holder's operations, says the Attorney General receives dozens of memos a week and updates like this one, and he doesn't always read them. Back to you.
Okay, William, we'll continue to follow this story. Thank you. President